Who is this actually good for, who should skip it, and is it worth the price for normal everyday buyers? Those are the three questions I hear the most when anyone pulls up a 3-in-1 welding combo on Amazon. If you're standing in the garage wondering whether a single machine can replace a MIG, a stick, and a TIG setup, you're probably already wrestling with hesitation. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to walk through the real-world trade-offs of the upgraded version MIG Welder, a 270A 3-in-1 combo, and tell you exactly who will get the most mileage out of it, and who will end up feeling shortchanged. First off, let's talk about why the all-known promise can feel risky. Welding is a craft where the right tool for the right job makes the difference between a clean joint and a cracked mess. A MIG gun that tries to double as a TIG torch has to compromise on fine current control, and a stick welding circuit that also feeds wire has to balance two very different power curves. That's not to say a combo can't be useful, but you have to know the limits before you spend $500 plus on a unit that looks like it does everything. The upgraded model positions itself as a portable, lightweight machine for home DIY, small shop repairs, and hobbyist projects. The advertising emphasizes a compact design and a comfortable handguard, which sounds appealing if you're setting up on a workbench or taking the unit to a job site with limited space. The real hook for many buyers is the integrated wire feeder with adjustable speed. In practice, that means you can load a spool of MIG wire, set the feed rate, and walk away for a few minutes while the machine keeps a steady flow. For a weekend project, say repairing a garden fence or building a simple metal table, this convenience can shave off a lot of grunt work. Now, let's break down who actually benefits from that convenience. If you're a hobbyist who dabble in a few different welding processes a month, the 270A output is more than enough. The machine can handle thin sheet steel for automotive repair, a bit of mild steel for furniture, and even the occasional TIG job on aluminum, if you're willing to dial the settings carefully. The MMA mode, stick welding, is handy for outdoor work where you might not have a shielding gas on hand. You can spark a joint on a rusted pipe and get a decent penetration without fuss. For these use cases, the portable weight, roughly 30 pounds, means you can carry it up a flight of stairs or into a cramped garage without needing a dedicated cart. On the flip side, if you're a professional fabricator who runs 20-hour shifts, needs consistent waveforms for aerospace-grade aluminum, or requires high-amperage stick welding on thick pipe, this combo will likely feel cramped. The 270A rating caps you out at medium-thick material. You'll struggle with anything beyond inch steel in MMA mode, and the TIG output isn't sufficient for high-precision, high-heat applications like aircraft brackets. Additionally, the machine's power source is a standard AC input, so it needs a reliable 120V outlet. If you're accustomed to a three-phase setup for heavier welds, you'll be forced to downgrade or bring a separate generator, which defeats the all-known premise. A practical weakness that shows up when you actually set the unit up for a TIG weld is the lack of a dedicated water cooling loop. The combo relies on air cooling, which works fine for short runs, but if you try to hold a TIG torch on a piece of aluminum for more than a few minutes, the unit's temperature gauge climbs quickly and you'll be forced to pause. That pause isn't a big deal for a hobbyist stitching together a decorative railing, but it becomes a productivity hit on a production line. Another point that matters is the quality of the accessories. The package includes a basic TIG torch, a MIG gun, and a stick electrode holder, plus a hand guard that the seller markets as comfortable. In everyday use, the MIG gun feels solid enough for occasional work, but the torch head is a simple, non-adjustable tip. If you need fine tip angles for tight corners, you'll have to buy an aftermarket torch, which adds cost. The included welding cable is a standard 10-foot, 2mm copper, sufficient for most home projects, but if your workspace stretches beyond that length, you'll be pulling an extension cord that can introduce voltage drop, something you'll notice as inconsistent arc stability. What about value for money? The advertised price sits in the mid-range for combo welders. Compare that to buying 3 separate machines: a dedicated MIG welder, around $300, a stick welder, about $200, and a basic TIG unit, roughly $350. The total of 3 single-purpose machines climbs well past $850, and you'd also need to buy extra accessories for each. The upgraded combo saves about $150, $200 if you can live within its performance envelope. For a homeowner who only needs occasional welding, the price-to-function ratio is favorable. For a shop looking for a workhorse,